Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome to a brand new Fallout London video. So it's been a minute since we said those words. And we have the second major update for the mod that has gone live this evening. So that's very, very cool. Obviously, the team have been working on this for a while. We've been waiting for a little while. It's been, what, 2.5 months, something like that, 2 months since the last major update. And, well, this is going to happen. It's a mod made by a team working in their spare time. It's only to be expected. Also, this update is huge, so not really surprising that it took a while to put together. So, I'm going to throw up on the screen the changelog for you so you can have a look at the patch notes for it and sort of scroll through. And there's some instructions there on updating if you already have it installed, although your mileage may vary a little bit depending on how you've approached installing the mod, so you're going to have to work that one out for yourself. It's not really the place. And we have a whole bunch of different updates here. A lot of it's geared towards performance improvements and bug fixing, as you'd expect. There's also some little content additions and improvements as well, so that's always fun. If you want to have a look at this changelog yourself, by the way, and sort of take your time, which if you've got something specific in mind or in general, I would recommend, it's on their Discord, and links to that are available on the Fallout 4 London website, so that's the best place to find that. There's also a video on their YouTube channel, the Team Folon YouTube channel, that goes over the high-level sort of changes here, which is cool, so I'll link that down below as well. You can find that in the description if you want to check that out, which I'm sure they would very much appreciate. So, in a general sense, what is going on here? A few notes that I have pulled out. First up, level navigation improvements. It's one thing with the exploring the levels and the world space, sometimes figuring out where you're meant to go is not as easy as it might be in other games. It's a tad more realistic in some ways in that way, but not ideal from a game design standpoint, and they have made some efforts to improve that, so hopefully you'll be able to figure out where you're going and navigate a little bit more easily, which is cool. They have spent a lot of time working on the infamous floating objects issue, which is, no way unique to Fallout or Fallout London or anything else, but over the last few weeks they have managed to bring back down to Earth something in the order of 700 floating objects across the game world space, and obviously more still to be got, but that's a lot. They have done a whole load of stuff on object and visual elements and improving how they look. That goes from things that might be like massive landmarks, buildings, things like that, all the way down to NPCs and little individual items and objects, bits of debris, stuff like that. And in a big one, the LODs, so level of detail stuff. Basically, what happens to objects that are further away from the player? They get rendered in lower resolution and so on and so forth, so they don't eat up all your performance. All this stuff is geared towards performance and optimization, stuff like that. And there's a whole lot of back-end stuff going on as well that they've adjusted to. But ultimately, it should be looking better and running more smoothly at the same time, which is obviously the goal everybody has when developing mods and games and stuff. And yeah, hopefully they'll succeed on this. It's very, very cool. They have made a whole bunch of changes and improvements to the soundtrack and audio design, so hopefully the levels should be better set up. The dialogue, where it is missing in a number of cases, should be no longer missing. And where there are errors, hopefully that will be fixed as well. So a whole load of audio stuff that's been adjusted there. There's also a whole load of new stuff added to the soundtrack as well, something like 30 new tracks in there. So the soundtrack and the music should be more expansive than it was before. They have finally released fixes for beer mats and a number of other issues, magazines being a big one, where they were bugged or not functioning as intended in some way or other. Those should now be working properly as intended, and there's been some other tweaks here and there to things, basically to make sure they're not overpowered, underpowered, things like that, and the balance is generally much better on them. So that should include a number of different effects across the game world, but particularly focused on beer mats and magazines, so there's a good little change there. They've added a brand new player home, so if you want to go into the whole settlement system thing and dive into building up a place for your player to live, there's a new spot available in Bromley that is available to you as soon as you jump into the game. So as soon as you've got the new update anyway, then that should be there and you can basically just walk in and grab it without any preamble required, so that's fun. Nice new little bit of settlement stuff. One thing they've mentioned in the past that has been awaited and people have been looking forward to is Churchill's being dressed up. You can now put a bowler hat on him, you can give him a cigar, you can give him armour, stuff like that. The mechanics were kind of there, sort of, but they weren't really working, and now those items are in the game properly and should work as intended, hopefully. So that's been sorted as well. there is a list of quest fixes that is roughly a mile long, so that is absolutely crazy. They haven't gone into massive level of detail on this, so basically just named the quests that they've made fixes to, and that's it. And the list is still longer than your leg, so yeah, it's a lot of fixes there. Hopefully that should be really, really good improvements for people working their way through the mod. And they've mentioned a few things that they're going to be fixing on down the line in subsequent updates in the future. Obviously, exactly when, could be a while because, well, you know, small team working on this in their spare time, it might take a minute. But they've mentioned in particular settlement quests and stuff around that area. They know there are issues with that. This is an ongoing problem. It's a work in progress, so hopefully they'll have it fixed for a future update, as well as an absolute stack of other bits and pieces as well, which they sort of mentioned in their little video as well, which I do recommend you take a look at. So, relatively short overview here of the changes they've made, and yeah, it's a big old long list. I recommend looking elsewhere, as I say, for guides on how to update things like that if you need to. It should be fairly simple if you followed the Fallout London team's actual description of how to do the stuff and install and all that. But if you've gone down more unconventional routes to install, like, say, mod manager, stuff like that, it might be a little bit more difficult. So pursue the previous avenue rather than perhaps looking here, I think, because this is outside my area of expertise. But yeah, really good to see these updates. Looking forward to jumping back into it, trying some of these out. We'll be picking Fallout London up again soon, I hope. Got a few things that we're juggling at the moment. I'm spinning quite a lot of plates, as one does. So hopefully we'll be back on a more even keel before too terribly long. Sort of wrapping this up with a quick channel note for those who are observing such things. I've not been streaming the last few days. I will be getting back into it. I'm currently having a bunch of dental issues that make speaking very uncomfortable. And obviously that's like 90% of what I do. So right now making this video is happening due to a large number of over-the-counter chems that are making this something I can actually do, and we're already getting to the point where this is not a lot of fun. So I'm going to wrap up and hopefully be back at it very, very soon. So yeah, looking forward to that. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little update on what's going on with Fallout London and the update. As I say, head over to their website and find their Discord link if you haven't. You can get all the information there in way more detail. But yeah, hope this was useful and informative. If you did like the video, please do drop subs, likes, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. Got social media links down below if you want to check that out. I just joined Blue Sky with the usual Darth Xion Games handle if you happen to be on there. Don't know how much I'll post, but I'm on there now as well. So if you want to check that out, then do. And yeah, keep an eye out for the live streams. We'll be back at it soon, I sincerely hope. So for now, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.